Doctor Who, Doctor Pooh, Doctor Pooh, Doctor Pooh, Doctor Pooh.
What the fuck is this piece of shit?
We'll get the lowdown on playing Rose with the heart-stopping Yasmin Finney.
Give us a kiss, J-boy.
You know what, it did kind of bring back some PTSD for me. I think, sadly, my high school experience was a lot of bullying.
Wrong.
Well, if you haven't guessed already, I too succumbed and watched the brand new Doctor Who? Star Beast was the title of this episode. And let me tell you something. I don't know how much of this I could actually get through. It was the most cringiest thing I've ever watched. I even had friends of mine telling me on WhatsApp, do not watch this episode of Doctor Who. It's awful. It gaslights the audience. It's really, really fucking terrible beyond belief. And I've got to say, after struggling to gain my sanity, I finally got through this terrible, woeful episode of Doctor Who, brought back from the dead and perhaps should have stayed dead thanks to Russell T Davies. But unfortunately, here we are, me in a darkened room, because that's how I like it. I kind of feel like Angelus from Angel, David Boreanaz, when he used to sit down in the corner of his office at every episode and just sort of contemplated the amount of necks he broke that day, and maybe thinking about Buffy the Vampire Slayer far, far away.
Yes, hallelujah, it's the video show. And now, the man the BBC calls...
Jason King on Kung Fu Hot Dog.
Chris Chibnall, if you thought his damage to the Doctor with Jodie Whittaker cakes was bad, apparently this makes Chris Chibnall's efforts look like a Shakespearean masterpiece. But without further ado, folks, let's get into today's video regarding Doctor Who. And as you can see here, well, I mean, it really needs no introduction, does it? I mean, we have the diversity leads, because apparently, folks, if you don't like this new iteration of Doctor Who, you are a TERF, a trans exclusionary revisionist feminist, a bullshit term that was made up in about 2014 to combat people who find the whole transgenderism ideology rather cringe.
And I just felt like lucky enough to be seen as a trans person in something so huge as Doctor Who, and I just felt lucky that I would be Catherine Tate's daughter.
Honestly, when you see the state of acting and entertainment today, it's like you don't even have to get an equity card. And for those of you who don't know what an equity card is, when you were a qualified actor or actress in the UK, you would take this card with you and it would assign you jobs through your agent. It meant you were legit, you were qualified. Whatever talents you brought to the table, whether you're a dancer for Benny Hill or the Kenny Everett show, you had an equity card. But nowadays, you don't need that. All you need is diversity, a bit of a gender change, and ching-ching, straight through the door you go. To summarize this episode, I mean, in the first 5 minutes, you are met with diversity. You've got diversity with a taxi driver, because you can't have white taxi drivers anymore, can you, folks? You just can't do that. We also have an army that turns up, and one of them is a female. Honestly, if I saw her walking up towards me, trying to protect me, I'll be straight on the phone to Jack Reacher. When we do meet Donna Noble's daughter, and by the way, when she's born as a girl, and then later on, she's not quite the same person anymore, and that's all down to the actor who plays Donna Noble's daughter, called Yasmin Finney, or Finney, if you're likening her, and I wouldn't dare do it to the great Albert Finney. And of course, this is a bit of a self-insert, because the actor himself comes from mixed heritage parents, jobs. So, and of course, they've incorporated that into the storyline because Donna Noble's husband is a black taxi driver who we find out he and his wife are pretty happy together. They won £166 million on the UK lottery. They managed to buy themselves a house, but in the meantime, she thought she'd blow the whole lot on charity. Now, I think charity begins at home, not giving away to furnish other homes or other noble causes. You see what I did there? And much later on, we actually have a cringeworthy CGI scene with this cat, a cat-like creature, who the Doctor has some interaction with. And can you believe the doc actually says, "Are you a he? Are you a she?"
Yes, sorry, good point. Are you he or she or they?
My chosen pronoun is the definite article.
Hi, my name is Erin. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm
tick tock, tick tock. I'm a little cuckoo.
And at this stage, I thought to myself, can your preferred pronouns be shut the fuck up? Yeah, that's probably 4 pronouns in one sentence, but I don't care. I mean, again, everybody's praising the high budget of this show, how it looks so good. And to me, this kind of reiterates something I've said before. The more budget you give to creatives, the worse they get with the ideology. I want indie films to come back where they were made on a shoestring budget, because when you're on a limited amount of money, you tend to come up with more great ideas, don't you? I even see Christopher Nolan suffering the fall now with giving a big budget and churning out stuff that, you know, I would actually call second-rate Nolan. Go back to his older stuff. It's much, much better. But of course, folks, you know, this is the state of play when you get dreadful headlines from Pink News. Doctor Who casting trans actress Yasmin Finney is giving LGBT fans hope for the future. And of course, we have another picture here of Yasmin. I would love somebody to dead name this actual dude to find out who they really are, just because it'll give me so much satisfaction. This is GQ magazine, who once stood for something. I know, Gentleman's Quarterly, kind of ironic, right, that you see a gentleman like Mr. Finney gracing their center page spread. And of course, it doesn't stop there, because if you think about it, someone like Mr. Finney is taking away the chance of a normal biological male or female in this case, who could have filled that role with ease. But everything now regarding the casting of an actor or actress in Britain, especially at the moment, black, gay, can't be straight, but if you're a white person, you can actually be a bad white person. There's a TV show called Trigger Point at the moment. Apparently it's meant to be very good, but one episode involves a bad white man who wants to blow up a mosque. Heaven forbid. That even reminds me of that terrible story that's resurfaced today, where Colonel Bob Stewart, who is a Tory MP, is getting lambasted by the person he supposedly racially abused. That particular victim is now re-traumatized. I kid you not. How can you re-traumatize trauma? It's a never-ending perpetuity of emotion. It's like, oh, I'm going to reignite PTSD again, or re-PTSD myself again, because you know what? That I can do that. It's a phrase. It's magic. And speaking of magic, folks, I mean, holy shit. This episode of Doctor Who was directed by Rachel Talalay. She directed Tank Girl, a Nightmare on Elm Street movie, and she hasn't got a great track record, but, you know, her name comes up and you think, okay, this girl's going to give it a bit of a shot. And yes, she was the director of this episode, and I guess she needed those hard-earned pennies coming her way. Of course, folks, we get that breathtaking moment, the stunning and brave moment that's going to get this episode a BAFTA nomination.
But that thing is wrapped around your cortex.
Yes, we know. We know everything. Thanks. And you know nothing. It's a shame you're not a woman anymore.
When I say the delivery of this line was absolutely terrible, when you got people like Shoot Me Gatwa and Yasmin Finney, who think they're qualified actors and actresses, they're just making a mockery of the whole acting professional in general.
Nervous, excited, ready, and...
Today, Junior!
Overwhelmingly happy.
Because they stand there delivering their lines and it's like it's the best thing since sliced bread, and it's not. It's truly utterly awful. There's no conviction, there's no feeling. It's like you make a mockery of what it takes to become an actor or an actress. And honestly, if this is the future of the entertainment business, folks, just go back to your physical old media and enjoy the crap out of those when those particular IPs and the people behind them didn't insult your intelligence.
We've got all that power, but there is a way to get rid of it. Something a male presenting Time Lord will never understand.
You're telling a biological straight male like David Tennant's Doctor Who that he should be ashamed to be a man?
Grandmaster of the knowledge.
That says Grand Mistress.
Catch up.
I tell you who should be ashamed. People who support this woke garbage of a TV show. Yes, Doctor Who has been progressive. So what? I had a theory as to why David Tennant might have been forced to come back as the Doctor. Well, he needs the money. He's probably been told by his agent, look, there's a thing called ESG at the moment, something like PPI back in 2007 when he didn't know what it actually meant. So we're giving you the same equivalent right now. David Tennant nods his Scottish face and goes, yeah, thanks mate, thanks. Christopher Eccleston, when he played the Doctor in 2005 and only lasted one season, I think he probably saw what was on the horizon where Russell T Davies was concerned, because from what I can tell from Mr. Eccleston's career, he's never appeared in anything that you consider woke or otherwise woeful. And if he has been woeful, he's been really terrific in it. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is today's ridiculous review of Doctor Who. Oh, honestly, I just don't know, to quote Dusty Springfield, what to do with myself. What do you know? I tell you what I can do with myself. I'm going to stuff a Papa John's pizza in a minute. Not all of it, because I need leftovers for tomorrow. And I'm going to binge watch summer season 1 of Smallville. I'll be doing a future video review on that show. What I thought about it, what I hated about it, everything else. And I can't wait. But my God, Smallville. Yeah, under the old banner of CW, when it used to be a great network. And around the same time, we also had the adventures of those supernatural boys, Dean and Sam Winchester. And yeah, really, really awesome. So ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoyed this video today, and if you want to see more ridiculous reviews like this, leave a like below, smash that subscribe button. And if I were you, and if you were me, you better come back for the next video.